The Rise and Fall of Charles Ponzi, an autobiography of the schemer supreme. Charles Ponzi, a name now etched in financial infamy, orchestrated one of the most audacious cons in history, the Ponzi scheme. His ability to manipulate people stemmed from a cunning mix of charm, psychology, and an understanding of human greed. To truly grasp the genius and deception of Charles Ponzi, one must explore the mechanics of his scheme and the tactics he used to ensnare thousands in his web of lies. Charles Ponzi was born into a humble family in northern Italy in 1882. His father worked as a postal worker and the family lived modestly. From an early age, Ponzi's sharp intellect was evident. His relatives often recalled him as a curious and imaginative child with an uncanny ability to find creative solutions to problems, even if they were unconventional. However, his family's financial struggles left a lasting impression. Ponzi observed how wealth, or the lack thereof, determined social standing and opportunities. This fueled a desire to rise above his modest roots and achieve greatness. Education and aspirations. Ponzi's family valued education and managed to send him to the University of Rome La Sapienza, one of Italy's prestigious institutions. But rather than focusing on academics, young Ponzi was captivated by the glamour of wealth and the lifestyles of the affluent students around him. While his peers came from wealthy families, Ponzi struggled to keep up financially, often feeling like an outsider. This period marked a shift in Ponzi's mindset. He became increasingly determined to close the gap between himself and the elite, even if it meant bending the rules. He reportedly joked with friends that he would find a way to make money without working hard, a sentiment that, while playful at the time, foreshadowed his future. A ticket to the American dream. In 1903, at age 21, Ponzi made a life-altering decision. He would leave Italy and sail to the United States. His family scraped together what little money they had to buy him a third-class ticket. Like millions of immigrants, Ponzi saw America as a land of endless opportunity, where anyone willing to work hard could build a fortune. He arrived in Boston with only $2.50 in his pocket, having gambled away the rest of his money during the voyage. Despite this rocky start, he was undeterred. Ponzi later reflected on this time, saying, "I landed in this country with the determination to succeed. I had all the energy of youth and none of the experience of age." The lure of impossible returns. In 1920, Charles Ponzi unveiled an investment opportunity that seemed too good to be true, and it was. Ponzi claimed he could generate a 50% return on investments in just 45 days or double the money in 90 days. His pitch revolved around arbitraging international reply coupons (IRCs), a legitimate postal product, by exploiting currency exchange rate discrepancies across countries. While this idea had a kernel of truth, Ponzi never actually profited from IRCs. Instead, he funded returns for earlier investors with money from new ones, creating the illusion of a thriving, high-yield investment. This was the heart of the Ponzi scheme, a financial mirage powered by trust and desperation. The psychology of manipulation. Ponzi's success wasn't just about the numbers, it was about his ability to manipulate people. His approach was rooted in understanding human nature, exploiting greed. Ponzi targeted people's innate desire for quick wealth. His promises were astronomically higher than traditional investments, making them irresistible. Building trust. He repaid early investors promptly, fostering a reputation as a financial wizard. Word of mouth from satisfied investors spread like wildfire, creating urgency. Ponzi fostered a fear of missing out (FOMO), compelling people to act quickly lest they lose the opportunity. Targeting vulnerabilities. His victims were often working-class individuals and immigrants, like himself, who were eager to escape financial hardship. At its peak, Ponzi's operation was taking in $250,000 a day, equivalent to over $3.5 million daily in today's currency. Yet, the entire scheme was unsustainable. As more investors joined, the liabilities grew exponentially. Ponzi needed an ever-increasing influx of new money to pay earlier investors, a mathematical impossibility. The role of charm and deceit. Charles Ponzi's charm was as critical to his scheme as the financial mechanics. He presented himself as a self-made man, a visionary who had discovered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. His confidence and charisma inspired trust, while his apparent generosity, often repaying investors in cash, reinforced his image as a financial savior. Ponzi also skillfully deflected scrutiny. When questions arose about the legitimacy of his operations, he dismissed critics as jealous competitors or pessimists who couldn't comprehend his genius. The inevitable collapse. No scheme built on lies can last forever. By mid-1920, investigative journalists and skeptical authorities began scrutinizing Ponzi's operation. A closer look revealed that Ponzi's liabilities far exceeded his assets. When investors panicked and demanded their money back, the entire scheme collapsed. Ponzi was arrested, and subsequent investigations revealed he had defrauded approximately 40,000 people out of $15 million, over $200 million today. Lessons from Ponzi's scheme. Charles Ponzi didn't just manipulate people, he manipulated trust, hope, and greed. His scheme serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of blind faith in too good to be true promises. Always verify. A legitimate investment opportunity withstands scrutiny and transparency. Question high returns. Extraordinary gains often come with extraordinary risks, or outright deceit. Understand the mechanism. Never invest in something you don't understand, regardless of how confident the promoter seems. Legacy of deception. Though his scheme ended in disgrace, Charles Ponzi's name endures as a symbol of financial fraud. The Ponzi scheme remains a cautionary tale, teaching investors to balance ambition with skepticism. Ponzi's legacy, while infamous, is a stark reminder of the power of manipulation when combined with human greed. In the end, Ponzi didn't just con individuals, he exposed a timeless truth about the fragility of trust when it's leveraged for profit. His story, though infamous, is one the world can't afford to forget.